The only work by the Venetian 18th century painter Giambattista Tiepolo, purchased by Henry Clay Frick, is a presentation sketch, a modello in Italian, for one of the frescoed ceilings painted by the artist around 1730 to 31 at Palazzo Archinto in Milan. Starting from this work, the Frick has organized an exhibition on view this spring and summer in the lower level galleries, which focuses for the first time on the cycle of paintings by Tiepolo on their history and tragic fate. Tiepolo is well known for his magnificent fresco cycles, which decorate many palaces and villas in Venice, in the Veneto, and further afield in Europe. The term fresco defines a painting executed on the ceiling or walls of a building, with pigments applied to the surface's wet plaster. As the plaster dries, the artist's compositions remain everlastingly attached to the surface on which they're painted. Tiepolo mastered this technique in a remarkable manner. Palazzo Archinto belonged to one of the most prominent aristocratic families of Milan. The palace in which they lived contained extensive collections of artworks. Carlo Archinto, Tiepolo's patron, was a well-known figure in the intellectual circles of Milan, especially known for his interest in philosophy, mathematics, and sciences. When, around 1730, Archinto made the decision to redecorate his palace, he commissioned a series of frescoed ceilings for 5 rooms from Tiepolo. This was the artist's first substantial commission outside the Veneto, and sanctioned the beginning of the painter's international career when he was in his mid-30s. The cycle was meant to celebrate the status of the Archinto family. The palace belonged to the Archinto for more than a century, until 1825. The fate of Tiepolo's frescoes in the palace was a tragic one. On the night between August 13 and 14, 1943, Allied bombs hit Palazzo Archinto, altogether destroying its interior. The Tiepolo frescoes were completely obliterated. It has been calculated that during World War II, about 65% of Milan's historic monuments were damaged or destroyed. Fortunately, a number of black and white photographs were taken in Palazzo Archinto at different points before 1943, and they remain a vital witness to the original appearance of the lost frescoes. The exhibition reunites a range of surviving relics relating to Tiepolo's decoration of the palace. It is a documentary project which brings these lost frescoes back to life through the presentation of related materials. Tiepolo's frescoes are evoked through the gathering, for the first time, of all known preparatory works relating to the commission. Drawings and painted sketches are all shown together and juxtaposed to black and white photographs of the destroyed frescoes. Before executing the frescoes, Tiepolo would have provided his patron with painted sketches to present his projects for each ceiling. Not knowing exactly how the stucco or painted framing elements around each ceiling would have been shaped, Tiepolo depicted the composition of each ceiling on small sketches against a neutral brown background. Most of Tiepolo's frescoes represented allegorical or mythological scenes. The largest ceiling at Palazzo Archinto depicted the triumph of the arts and sciences. The modello for this fresco survives in the Museo Nacional de Arte Antiga of Lisbon, in Portugal. The Frick modello instead represents a passage from Ovid's Metamorphoses, showing Perseus saving Andromeda from a sea monster. A third modello by Tiepolo for Palazzo Archinto is now in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and shows Phaeton asking his father Apollo to drive the chariot of the sun. All 3 can be seen in the exhibition together for the first time in more than 150 years. When looking at Tiepolo's Perseus and Andromeda in the splendid and tranquil setting of the Frick collection, most visitors ignore the tragic destiny of the fresco that was derived from it. This small canvas was the creative spark in Tiepolo's mind that was the basis for his large fresco in Milan, and it is exceptionally sad to think that this masterpiece and Tiepolo's 4 other frescoes in the palace are now lost forever. At a moment in history where in different parts of the world wars are still inflicting devastating losses to culture and art, it is worth pausing to consider the irreparable wounds inflicted by war on great works of human creativity throughout the centuries.